Hello, Z's, Mond Life, relationships, long-term relationships, part two, compatibility and evaluation. Okay, you need to know as a person what you want in a person, and what you're willing to accept, and the type of person that you're compatible with. Okay, the early stages of a relationship are very important in this. The first 6 months, there should be an evaluation. The first year, the first 3 years, okay? And after about 3 years, and hopefully living together with that person after about 18 months, you should be getting into the realms of asking them to marry you then, okay? 3 years. Don't let it drag on, right? Get them asked to marry you after 3 years, you should know. So the timeline is 6 months of just smooching each other's faces off, okay, and thinking the sun shines out their ass and the farts smell like roses, right? 6 months of that bollocks. Then you gotta sit down and think, right, okay, the pheromones and all that starting to wear off now. Let's look at this cold, hard logic. And one thing about those first 6 months, after the first 6 months, the first 3 years actually, never be afraid to walk away. I don't care how old you are, whether you're 35 and your body clock's ticking on, right? I admit it gets a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to make more compromises in the person that you're willing to settle down with, okay? But if you're younger than 35, walk away and do not feel guilty, right? I know a lot of people that think the other person would fall to pieces if they left. What sort of arrogance is that? That this person cannot possibly survive unless you're in their life. I mean, how arrogant do you have to be? Okay, trust me, the other person will be absolutely fine. But you sit them down, cold hard logic, you say, this isn't working, okay, I've analysed the situation, um, we're not compatible. Simple as that. Now, I have to, one caveat here, I've never actually split up with anyone, okay? And I've only ever had one relationship in my life. But it happened to be absolutely perfect. But don't get me wrong, all the analysation was going on, okay? The cold hard logic, I knew what I wanted, okay? So you need to know what you wanted, what you want. So me personally, I wanted somebody who would challenge me, okay? Give me shit. Someone who was driven and a little bit ambitious. Somebody who was clever, okay? Somebody who was funny, yeah? Somebody who wasn't, you know, somebody who had, not just somebody who was compatible with me, where you get on, you know? But even then, those first 3 years, you need to be looking for red flags, okay? Behaviours, dysfunctions. You know, you've got to be projecting 5, 10 years into the future. Could I be with this person in 5 years? Could I be with this person in 10 years? Could I have children with this person? Never bury your head in the sand, because you're storing up problems for later on. And by the way, if you've ever had children, then it's game over. You're in there until them kids are grown up, okay? Right? So we're talking about other people's lives that you're messing with here. Me, I'd rather have no children unless I could raise in a good, stable family relationship. I'd rather have no children. Never be afraid of being on your own, okay? I spend 90% of the time with myself, okay? And it's fabulous. Absolutely, you know, I live inside my own head. It's great. There's cartoons going on all the time, okay? So if, you know, I thought if I was alone, fair enough. Do you know what? I'll get the Sky Sports package full. I'd get a big widescreen TV, PlayStation now, you know, get on the pace, you know what I mean? Like, you'll have absolutely fantastic time on your own. You can eat what you want, do what you want. You know, it's the bollocks. But obviously, it's not as good for me as being in a long-term relationship, okay? Because we all want that compatibility. We all want that companionship, sorry, not compatibility. And for me, I spend 90% of the time on my own. But if I spent 100% of time on my own, it would be awful. It's horrible, you know. When my wife sometimes goes away for work, even if it's 1 or 2 nights, and I get those days when I'm alone at 100%, loneliness is awful. It really is. You just feel so empty and a kind of nothingness, you know what I mean? And the bed's cold and the bed's too big, and it's not nice. So the goal is companionship, but it's got to be a functional, good, healthy relationship, okay? Otherwise, you've got to walk away, right? End of part 2. Bye bye.